some of the most tragic fires that we've had here in the city of Columbus have occurred in abandoned structures and residences. When it comes to businesses, Columbus Fire and Rescue does have the authority to go in and inspect those. We do those annually. But when it comes to private residences, we do not have the authority to actually go there and inspect. So we depend on citizens to let us know if there's something like that going on where you have someone that may be homeless, trying to get out of the weather, using that as a warning shelter.
Now, of course, if you find someone in need of shelter, there are places like the Salvation Army, or as we just mentioned, the Homeless Coalition, who can assist.
Do you think I give
The
a
year-and-a-half-long congressional investigation into the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol is supposed to be wrapped up today with the release of a final report, but that release may be on hold due to the visit of Ukrainian President Zelensky. Deborah Alfarone is on Capitol Hill with what you can expect to see when the report is finally made public.
The House committee investigating the deadly assault on the U.S. Capitol is delaying release of its final report due to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's visit. The report will now come out Thursday.
I guarantee there'll be some very interesting new information in the report and even more so in the transcript.
I prefer to die comfortable.
18 months. During that time, it conducted about 1,200 interviews and collected more than 1 million documents.
You'll see why we're concerned that that witnesses may have been interfered with or an attempt to influence
CBS News' Robert Costa obtained some previously unaired audio from the deposition of President Trump's personal aide, Nick Luna, who told investigators he heard the president tearing up documents.
I don't know what the documents were, but they're worth hearing.
But you are aware that at least sometimes the president would tear up notes or pieces of people accused of. Is that correct?
The January 6th committee has already voted to recommend to the Department of Justice that federal prosecutors pursue possible criminal charges against former President Trump.
Republicans continue to dismiss the bipartisan committee as nothing more than a partisan attack.
It was set up as political theater. It's still political theater. Investigations ought to be done by law enforcement, not by some political group.
House Republicans issued their own report focused on security failures on January 6th. They blamed Capitol Police leadership and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi for not protecting the Capitol. And they say Capitol Police did not receive proper training to handle a situation like the attack. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Lafayette County deputies have made an arrest in a molestation case. Ricky Poe remains in jail on a molestation charge. Investigators were called this past Friday night to the Harmontown community about a juvenile being touched. After a forensic interview yesterday, Poe's arrested. Bond has not been set in his case. A new lawsuit argues that a redistricting plan approved by the Mississippi legislature does not accurately reflect the state's population and discriminates against black voters. The Mississippi NAACP and 5 black residents filed the federal suit Tuesday. It challenges state house and senate districts scheduled to be used in the 2023 election. Mississippi's population is about 59% white and 38% black. In the redistricting plan adopted this year by the state's Republican-led legislature, 15 of the 52 Senate districts and 42 of the 122 House districts are majority black. That's only 29% of the Senate districts and 34% of the House districts. The lawsuit says legislators could have drawn 40 more majority black Senate districts and 3 more in the House. The suit comes 6 weeks before candidates' qualifying deadline of February the 1st. Some Columbus residents have been raising concerns about the use of a decommissioned fire station. People have been contacting Mayor Keith Gaskin and Columbus City Council members about activity around and possibly in the former fire station number 4 at the corner of Airline and McCrary Roads. The comments range from seeing lights on to seeing people in the building, which is supposed to be closed. A nearby ministry that helps men transition from substance abuse back into the workforce and society has been in negotiations with the city about leasing or buying the building. Some residents were concerned that someone might actually be living in this building.
How many you
Mayor
want,
Gaskin
bitch?
reached out to members of the ministry, and a councilman did a walkthrough of the fire station to check on things.
For the discussions and questions that we've asked.
Let's go, motherfucker!
Inside
and looked around and saw that the lights were on. We determined why they're still on. He told me it did not look like to him that anybody had been standing there or anything like that. So, I think it's a bit to do about nothing, really. We do want to make sure that any facilities the city owns are not being used if it's not proper for people to do that.
Now, power is still connected and
One down!
sometimes on at the former fire station because Lowndes County EMA still maintains a tornado siren there at that site. Well, after serving for more than a decade, a sheriff in our area is ready to put down the badge and enjoy more family time. Winston County Sheriff Jason Pugh is gearing up for retirement, announcing he will not run for another term. Sheriff Pugh has been in law enforcement for more than 25 years. He says his successor will have his work cut out for him.
I appreciate them so much for allowing me to do this. We've had some, like I say, some great days. We've had some bad days. We've been able to help a lot of people. That's very important.
This is how murder works. That was appeal. 1 is the count. Edward Jason Pugh. I'm just gonna count out the random bullshit that they putting up in front of me. You figure out why I think they trying to kill me. You figure that shit out.
Novice or amateur outdoors person, this may look unusual. It's a tree stand. Today we're talking tree stand safety. I'm your host, Winston Reed. This is your expert, Dr. John Long. This is Next to Nature.
Deal, don't wait. With the excess inventory, some retailers have actually pulled back on how much additional inventory they're bringing in. So once the
That's a vote for
some
2.
of these products sells out, it may be out for the rest of the year.
And these sales are expected to carry over into the new year. Also, some stores offer purchase protection, like Target and Walmart. So if you buy something,
now why do I believe this bitch is forcing me with my own hands to be the Manchurian candidate? Why do I believe this bitch is taking my hand and popping the pill in my mouth like I'm a Manchurian candidate and I can't do anything about it? Ask the last bitch I just talked to.
All right, just a few more days to get those deals. All right, high school athletes from all over the state chose where they will play college ball. Cam will have the latest when we come back.
WCBI First Alert AccuWeather Forecast is brought to you by Alpha Insurance. Call Alpha agent Austin Bowman in Columbus for all your insurance needs.
You're helping her study for a geography test.
Good evening, Social Security. This is Security. Can I help you?
Yes, I'm making a post right now about the last person that I spoke with, engagement in waterboarding, because I want to appeal the notice that was sent to me on November the 22nd, 2000, and that was post dated November the 21st, 2002.
2002?
Yes.
Okay. And what's your Social Security number?
Thank you for calling. So
587-31-6485.
Okay, and your name, please?
Zori Rush.
Okay, one second. Let me just get your record here. Okay, and may I get your date of birth, please?
10477.
And the city and state you were born in?
Upor, Mississippi.
And your mother's maiden name?
Upor, Mississippi. Rush.
Thank you. And your address on file, please?
6912 Mount Vernon Road, Upor, Mississippi 39744.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Okay, let me see here. And then do you need the document emailed to you to do the appeal?
The document that the statement that I received says that to contact you to find out the procedure because I have a restriction, but it doesn't say what the restriction is. It says to call you
Okay.
about it.
Yeah, you just have to mail that appeal document in to the local office.
Those are instructions, ma'am. That's not a restriction. You're not telling me what the restriction is why I can't use the service that everyone else is able to use.
What service are you talking about?
The online appeal service where you file an appeal online.
Okay. I do see you submitted one on the 25th already, so they do have that already out there. You just got to give the office time to work it.
They're already in violation of, that's the reason why I'm appealing this notice. They're already in violation of Program's Administrative Procedure and the Program's Operations Manual, GN 02406.201, non-receipt of Title II critical payment system checks with actual and constructive evidence that I have not had access to medical treatment since 2018. Under subsection A, it clearly states that you pay continuing or one-time payments through CPS when a Title II beneficiary is receiving his or her payments, but we owe additional benefits and the situation meets the definition of a critical case. You and I both know critical cases are determined in 14 days. It's certainly been past 14 days since I filed the appeal, and this notice does not comply. It also doesn't comply with federal regulation Title 42, Section 431.214, notices in cases of probable fraud. On January the 19th, someone at the teleservice center and the field office supposedly sent a disability accommodation request for a compliant notice that acknowledges the fact that the beneficiary has alleged that the Social Security Servicing Office in Starkville, Mississippi is knowingly transmitting a false record under my name to other agency components. And then when I call you, you read from the false record.
Okay, so back to the first part that you said.
Uh-huh.
Are you receiving your disability payment?
Well, again, this is the issue that I'm having is that you just looked at my information and I read to you where it says a Title II beneficiary is receiving his or her payments, but we owe additional benefits and the situation meets the definition of a critical case. Just before that, it says a Title II beneficiary that's not receiving benefits. So in this case, because it involves a violation of GN 02406.201, it doesn't matter whether or not I'm receiving benefits because this says even if the claimant is receiving benefits, if you owe additional benefits, the situation meets the definition of critical case if the evidence fits that criteria. I haven't had a case-by-case analysis, and I've waited for one since your system should show that I've waited for a case-by-case analysis to show that I'm still in a dire need situation since July the 19th, 2021. So there's obvious proof that the Social Security Administration does not intend. It's
understand how you would receive additional funds. This money is calculated off of the earnings.
ma'am, you're attempting to do something that is the issue on appeal. I'm not asking you to make a determination over the phone. That evidence is submitted in a record.
And then it is being reviewed by the office currently.
What's being reviewed? What's being reviewed, ma'am? You're not. You said you were going back to the original issue. The original issue is I'm attempting to appeal. Let me go. You take your time.
So we do have that. So you just have to give the office time to review that, so that you have, and then that way we can go from there. Okay. Did you have any other questions or anything else I can help with?
Ma'am, are you ignoring what I just read in the manual? Are you ignoring the fact that they only have 14 days on a critical case and that it's already been past 14 days? Because you're telling me that they somehow, just because you said that, they have more than 14 days, but the rules say that they don't.
Suggest that you give them a call. You definitely can.
Are you telling me that I don't have the right to appeal? Are you telling me that I don't have the right to appeal the notice that's not compliant with those two statutes?
At this time, I couldn't even make that call. That office has to look at that.
Okay, well then let's get to the issue I called you about. How do I enforce my rights now? Because I understand that I have the right to appeal a decision that violates the procedural due process clause of the United States Constitution.
Bill's office to review that guideline that you're going over. I am not going to be able to do that with you on the general hotline. Do you need to give them a call? Do you need their phone number?
Ma'am, are you looking at my record?
Yes,
Does my record? Did I tell you? Did you hear me tell you that the servicing field office has been accused of knowingly maintaining a false record in my name?
That you are talking about, you have to reach out to the Starkville's office.
Right. And did you hear me? Did you hear me tell you? Did you hear me tell you that the servicing field office is accused in that appeal of knowingly transmitting a false record to the processing center? Did you hear me tell you that?
Where did that appeal, I think, went to that office?
Again, ma'am.
Hold on just a second. Let me see if there's something off of that. Hold on. Because your appeal goes to that office.
Well, ma'am, I can't do anything about that. The only thing I can do is enforce my First Amendment right to say in an appeal, on each appeal or in each claim, that each claims folder that's being sent from that office contains fraudulent information, and that those employees in that office are obstructing my right to communicate with the Social Security Administration, who should be correcting my records and paying an underpayment. You are doing it now. I'm telling you that the Social Security owes me an underpayment and that it is pending on a critical case, and you're telling me to wait past the time the Social Security Administration is supposed to do it. So you're the Social Security Administration now telling me to go to the people I am accusing of committing the crime that's causing me to have an underpayment while in critical need, including need to access medical treatment since 2017.
I just don't have anybody else that you can work with. I'm sorry.
Thank you for calling Social Security.
Because I can't help you any further. I don't know what else to tell you.
Well, I'm not asking you to tell me anything, ma'am. If I understand the United States Social Security Administration to be a massive tool to protect the industries that set up retirement systems for the most vulnerable worker. You're making a statement that what you're saying is the final statement on this particular case-by-case analysis for the entire Social Security Administration, that the entire Social Security Administration Administration cannot help me on a case-by-case analysis for this entire issue. When I know that this can be escalated to a supervisor, this could be immediately sent in an email to inform someone that this is actually what's happening. I know that those are options. I also know why you're choosing not to do them, because the fault you are reading from the record that I am telling you is false. I have nothing left to say, man. Thank you. I mean, right. Other than the fact, because I know what you're doing. Other than the fact that I know that you know that right now you are engaged in an attempted murder. I know that, and I know that you know that. Now you can end this call, because I'm done. Bye, ma'am. Bye, ma'am. There's nothing you can do, because you could have called your supervisor before you lied and said there is nothing that the Social Security Administration can do. You know that they are, but you chose to toe that line. Ma'am, again, you're engaged in an attempted murder. You're engaged in an attempted murder.
Emergency. We always encourage you to make an appointment, as this will help us plan for you. Physical distancing and wearing of masks are required in our offices. We will provide a mask if you do not have one. Please be aware of individuals impersonating Social Security employees over the phone. If you suspect you have received a scam call, you should report the details of the call to the Office of the Inspector General online at oig.fsa.gov/report. Once you've completed your call with us, please take a moment to provide feedback about your service experience at fsa.gov/feedback.
You can find the Social Security Administration online at www.socialsecurity.gov. How can I help you today? You'd like to speak to someone, right? I understand you want to speak with someone. In case I can help you better here, please tell me what you're calling about. You'd like to speak to someone, right? Okay, hold on while I get someone to help you. Thank you for holding. Someone will assist you shortly. Please remember to have handy your Social Security number and any recent mail that we may have sent you. Having this information will help us serve you better. Good afternoon, Social Security. This is Stacy.
This is who?
My name is Stacy. How can I help?
Your name is Stacy?
That's correct.
Stacy, I got a notice that says to call you because of I didn't meet one or more qualifications to file my request for appeal online.
All right. Can I have your Social Security number?
587-31-6485.
I got 587-31-6485. Is that correct?
Correct.
Can I have your name?
Zori Rush.
Mr. Rush, can I have your date of birth?
10-4-77.
Your place of birth, city and state.
Euport, Mississippi.
Mother's maiden name.
Rush.
And the address that Social Security has on file for you, including the zip code.
6912 Mount Vernon Road, Euport, Mississippi 39744.
All right, I want you to hang tight for me. I'll be right with you, okay? If I may. What's the date of that letter?
December the 21st. It was post dated December the 21st, 2022. I got it yesterday.
Thank you, sir. Just a moment. How's your day going so far, sir?
Sir, I have filed a complaint that argues that there are several Social Security Administration employees that work in teleservice and in the servicing field office that are actively engaged in an attempt to take my life because they refuse to expand Medicaid in Mississippi. I am alive, and every day I am alive with the opportunity to freely express that as an American citizen is a great day for me.
Yes, sir. I think he woke us all up.
It'll be an even greater day if I was made a whole person with the property that is being stolen from me. I'm only on the phone to address that.
Let me say this to you.
I would prefer that you not, if it doesn't have anything to do with the case that I've called you about, I would prefer not to hear anything from any agency who is being accused of actively paying people to take my life until someone responds to that.
Sir, if I may, I want to take a step back, and I appreciate your passion, and I'm here for it. And I want you to put all of those experiences you've had with all those other agents aside, because you are in good hands with me today, sir.
Okay.
Okay, there's a reason you crossed my phone line.
Okay.
And I'm going to make sure whatever I can do in my power to get you the assistance you need, that's exactly what I'm going to do today. So hang tight for me, okay? All right. You said that it was post-dated the 23rd. That's interesting. I've got a letter here for the 21st about your overpayment. Can you read the letter to me? Would you be so kind?
Certainly. 1 second.
Thank you, sir.
So you acknowledge that it's an overpayment letter.
Oh, so I'm looking at a letter from the most.
Oh, I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing that. I just.
No, that's all right. I just want to make sure that if I'm not seeing what you're seeing.
Oh, I saw an overpayment letter. I saw an overpayment letter. I also had a conversation with an employee who refused to acknowledge it was an overpayment letter. That would be because that employee's voice sounds close or similar to the very individual I am accusing of transmitting false records in my name. Knowingly and intentionally transmitting false records in my name. Okay, the letter says, that's it. It doesn't say I'm going to be getting access to a doctor, I can tell you that. And your critical payment evidence says that I haven't had access to a doctor since 2018, and this doesn't say anything about that. And that's what that appeal is, a critical payment processing appeal for an individual who is already receiving payments. And this letter says, we received your request that we review our decision. You will receive benefits as follows until we respond to your request. Now, I did not submit a request. What I have done is properly served a demand in federal court on the commissioner and the tax assessor for the state of Mississippi to recover an underpayment in critical payment processing checks. That error occurred in 2014. Now, this says that I'm requesting a review of a decision, and someone I spoke to before says that they are reviewing the appeal that I filed November the 25th, 2022. Says that's what they're doing. However, again, you can look at the record that you're reading from and see you are still reading from a record that I have accused of being a false record. You're still able to read from it, and I have no notice from the Social Security Administration that acknowledges the fact that I have said as the beneficiary that the record is false. Nothing from them. You're still getting paid. You're going to get paid for this call. This is going to continue until I get a notice that says what we're looking at is whether or not this is fraud and we obstructed your critical payments. I get this open-ended letter saying, we hope you die while we have an open-ended date, because we have information that says you're dying, and we provided an open-ended date that would confuse most law enforcement officers. What am I feeling?
If you had started this whole disability application process, starting with talking to me, I would like to think that you definitely wouldn't receive the treatment that you got. Okay, I can only apologize for.
Thank you for calling.
A lot going on here in your record. You've been applying for quite some time. You've taken every step.
I just want to clarify, sir, that I've already explained to you that you would be obstructing my right to say that the Social Security Administration is maintaining a false record in my name until the Social Security Administration sends me an actual notice that acknowledges the fact that I said that. See, you're saying things now like you're reading from a record that I should accept as true, while at the same time, I'm telling you the entire record that you're reading from is false because my evidence has not been processed.
And listen, I hope you're hearing me when I'm telling you. I'm not disagreeing with you. All I can do, Mr. Rush, is look at what's in front of me and listen to what you're saying and put it all together. And I'm not... I'm not a decision maker. I'm not siding with one person or another. When you look at these letters that Social Security sends you, right, it's easy to pick apart particular parts of the letter that you're able to receive. The small blessing in it all is that they are going to continue to pay you, and hopefully in the long run.
Oh, ma'am, I apologize. I know what blessings are. And being robbed of an underpayment, no matter how much I'm being paid, is not a blessing. That's a robbery. No matter who you do it to, it's a robbery. And for you to categorize a theft as a blessing is offensive to my belief, my religious beliefs.
me backtrack there. I apologize if I offended you. Okay?
You certainly have. I mean, to call a theft, to call a theft a blessing is definitely is offensive. Considering I've grown up believing that under that, do not steal.
Perhaps I chose my words wrong. I do apologize. Okay?
Yeah, but I've already been told that I should settle for the theft, that, it'd be a good idea just to be grateful for the theft. But what's happened is the theft has allowed the state of Mississippi to hold me hostage and to attempt to take my life to prevent violence. Go ahead. I'm going to allow that.
All right. So the letter that you got, that's just one more step closer to the process of getting you the benefits that you are due, owed, and that you feel were stolen from you. So now what we do is we wait. There are no further appeals to be done. It's gone all the way up to federal.
You're giving me legal advice. You're giving me legal advice, and I requested.
No, I am absolutely not.
Okay, sir, the procedural due process.
Hold on, please let me finish my sentence.
You
reported for quality control, and I'm going to make sure I'm giving you the best service you could ever possibly.
I did the okay.
So let the record reflect that Agent Stacy at Social Security did not give you any legal advice, not by any stretch of the imagination. Now let's move on from that. If I want the recorded calls and make sure that they heard that, I want you to make sure that you receive that. I have by no means given you any sort of legal advice today. So let's move on. So, do you have anything else for me?
I think you've been giving me all that. What is it? You were telling me something that wasn't legal advice, and I requested that you stop. So you can continue.
Card, say cards, or press 3. For questions about Medicare benefits or eligibility, say Medicare, or press 4. To find a Social Security office in your area, say office locations, or press 5.